Good afternoon. I hope that you're doing well. I thought I was just about to sit down to paint. My desk is still too chaotic. Okay. I was just about to sit down to paint this vase of flowers that I picked up this morning. But I thought before I do that, I could come and chat for a little bit because I haven't done that yet this week and I have no idea what else I filmed so far. I just finished editing last week's video. But because I kind of got ahead with it over the weekend and then I haven't edited all week. It's been a very strange week. Today is kind of like my day off because it's a national holiday, so I don't have uni. I'm only missing out on 2 hours of class because I normally only have 2 hours on Thursdays, but still fine. Also, sorry for the lighting. I don't know where the sun has temporarily gone. But it's a bit cloudy, so it might kind of come and go. I'll try to fix it in post. But I thought, I found out that the shops were open this morning, so I went out to run some errands, and then this afternoon I really just wanted to catch up with editing and do a whole bunch of painting, so from now on it's just going to be painting. You will have seen me work on this piece on Monday. I've been feeling very inspired. I've had a lot of ideas. I think I mentioned it last week as well. I've been having a lot of ideas, and I think it's kind of come across in the videos as well because I've been working on a lot of paintings and stuff. But when I had some time to paint on Monday, I sat down to paint and I was just decision paralysis because I was overwhelmed by the too many ideas that I had. Which is a very weird feeling. I've never really experienced that before, but I just to get myself out of it, I just decided on a color scheme, and I took, I pulled up on my phone a picture of a bouquet that my mum sent me that she had over the weekend, and I painted that. And it's a bit different from the floral paintings that I've done recently, but I really liked the process. I don't love the result. I think it could be more polished. It's a bit chaotic. I'm gonna try to refine it a bit with the painting that I do today, but I really enjoyed working with thicker paint, which is something that I wanted to try doing again. And I'm happy I did it. I really like the colours, and it was just a lot of fun to work with. For some reason, I think this looks better on camera than it does in real life. I don't know why. But this was a lot of fun to work on, and I'm very glad that I did that on Monday. And then, I don't think I've done... Well, I did a tiny painting yesterday that I then stuck in this sketchbook. And I also painted the background of this sketch that I did last week. I also started doing another drawing. I don't know whether this is going to turn into a painting or not because I still haven't finished it. I started drawing that on an A3 piece of paper. I'll see how the sketch turns out, and then I'll see if I want to just finish that with pencils or if I want to go ahead and actually paint it with gouache. Well, we'll see how I feel. But this was kind of prompted by a book that I read. I haven't even updated you on the fact that I finished reading Babel. So I finished reading Babel over the weekend. Would very, very highly recommend. Such a good book. I finished tabbing it this morning. I've not really made a lot of progress in copying down the quotes, hoping to do some of that tonight maybe, but it was such a good book. Obviously it's another dark academia book. I've read a couple recently, but the setting is a bit different, timeline-wise, but also just in the critiques that it poses, it's a bit different, and I found that very interesting. But also, like, the premise of the book is a lot more interesting than it was for me with If We Were Villains, because I don't really have a lot of knowledge about Shakespeare, probably not enough to really appreciate the book. And also with The Secret History, like, I do have a bit of knowledge about the classics, and it's especially the great classics is something that I've always been very fascinated by. But it's not something that I really studied firsthand, because I did like an applied sciences lyceum, so I didn't have Greek or Latin. We do have Latin in like traditional sciences lyceum, but I didn't do that. And I also didn't go to a classic lyceum, which has both Greek and Latin. So I don't really know a lot about that. But I feel like neither were, well, maybe If We Were Villains a bit, but not as much in its analysis. It was just very much like quoting Shakespeare. This was very interesting for me, because obviously it's based on like language and translation, and that's something that I've mentioned a couple of times before I'm really, really interested and fascinated by. And so there's a lot of passages that I saved, I underlined, and that I want to save in my commonplace book to read again later, that are to do with language and translation, and that I just found very interesting. In like, I don't know, I really liked the fact that it kind of took you through a bit more of that like learning process, and it shared a bit more about the topic than maybe the other ones did. But also just like the plot and the characters, great book, 100% would recommend. I'm still not over it. And then last week, I think on the 16th, maybe, Earthflown came out. I've been waiting for this to come out for a while. This is a novel that is illustrated by my favorite illustrator, so I was already very excited about it. And I'd read some bits of it because it was kind of like, it's been in the works for a while, so I've kind of kept tabs on it for a while. But I went into it and I didn't really have like very set expectations for what it was going to be like, because it's a bit of a strange book. It's like a sci-fi setting, and there's both a romance element and like a crime element, and I loved it. It was such a good book. I read it in like 4 days, but I only read like 10 pages the first night before I fell asleep. Not because the book was boring, just because I was tired. Though I will say, I was a bit confused at the very beginning, but there's an illustration at one point about like the family trees that really, really helped understand things. It's quite early on. There it is, this one. And then also there's an explanation about certain terms at the beginning that I hadn't, like, I'd read it, but I hadn't really, like, I wasn't remembering things. So the first bit was a bit confusing, but once I started getting things, it was so good. The romance was 10 out of 10. Such a cute couple. It made me so happy to read it, because it was like, I was expecting things to go wrong in a certain way, and they didn't, and that made me very happy. It's not a spoiler per se, like, things happen, but I don't know, it was a very, very good book. I would very much recommend it. It's a strange book, I wouldn't know how to describe it, but it shines a very important light on like the water crisis, which I think is very important. But the story and the characters themselves are also very interesting, and like the way that it's written, I think is very, very beautiful. I didn't underline a lot. Like, I don't know, it's not the kind of thing where I would get a lot of quotes from, but the writing in general is just very beautiful, and I would definitely recommend it. And I cannot fangirl enough about the artwork. I love Latan's illustrations so much. I'll leave both of the authors and like illustrator Instagram and like website links below, so you can check them out. The book is so good. Look at these. And then there's so many of these ones, like smaller illustrations throughout the chapters as well. It's so good. I'm so happy I read it. And at the moment, so this morning when I went out for errands, I realized I don't have a book to read on the bus. So I picked up one that I already had on my bookshelf, which is The Art of Idleness by Hermann Hesse. Obviously, it's a translation because Hesse was German, and I don't speak German. But I had that laying around. I don't really think I have any fiction ready to go, so I thought I'd just pick up one of the non-fiction things that I had available. And Hesse, I think after Murakami, is probably the author that I've read most from. I read Demian. I was so excited when... This is a complete tangent that nobody cares about, but I was a BTS fan, before Wings came out, and then throughout the periods where Wings came out. And if you were a fan in that area, you will remember the chaos of the teasers and the short story things coming out and people trying to figure out what they were about, and then it turned out they were based off of Damien. You have no idea how much that got me, how happy that made me. And then I read Siddhartha, I think before that. I've read Steppenwolf, I've read Narcissus and Goldbund. I've read a collection about love. So it's a collected artwork. This one is also a collection of essays and short pieces of writing. I'm a very short way through, but I am enjoying it. I know that I love his writing, so I thought that was going to be a safe bet to pick up. But then when I was out this morning, I picked up what's it called? Wait. When I was out this morning, I also picked up If Cats Disappeared from the World, which I think has been on my TBR for a while. I'd heard about it, and then I wasn't really... Because I've kept up with some reading YouTubers, like Jack Edwards and other people, and I think I heard someone mention it, so I was aware of the book, but I hadn't read it. Found a copy, so I picked it up. I also found a copy of The Details by something. Surname starts with a G. I know because I was looking for it in the alphabetical order. Can't remember the surname. I'll put it on screen. But it was an edition that I really didn't like. It was like a traveler's notebook size narrow edition, and I don't like that. That's so uncomfortable to read. So I didn't buy that. It was in Italian, but I think the original is in Swedish anyways, so I don't mind either translation. Same thing for this one. I found it in English, but I wouldn't mind reading it in Italian anyways, because it's the original is Japanese. So I don't know, I just try to read books in English when the original is in English, but otherwise I don't really care. So that's kind of an update book-wise, and I think I'm gonna start this one as well soon and read that alongside the non-fiction book that I'm reading. I don't want to start reading too many books at once. If I decided that I don't like a book and I don't want to finish it, I'm just gonna put it aside. But I think reading a fiction and a non-fiction book at the same time is fine, especially when the non-fiction is a collection of short stories and something like that you don't necessarily have to read all together. You can just read parts of it and read them as a standalone, I suppose, or within the context, but you don't have... It's not a long fiction book where you have to remember what comes before. So this is gonna be kind of my next read. And then I wanted to give you a short update on the stickers as well. Okay, that kind of falls into the cauldron of the too many ideas that I know I have at the moment, but I also am aware that I don't have enough time to work on everything. I can't do it all now. It'll have to be spaced out. So I have no idea when they'll be done. I've made a tiny bit of progress. I sketched out a couple more things. I decided that I want to do some more stamp type stickers. I don't think I have one near me, but I made a couple with the warm spring stickers that I released at the beginning of the month, and I'd like to do a couple more of those, or maybe a full sheet like that. But I don't know when they'll come out. They'll come out, I think, sometime in May. I'm not gonna rush drawing that because all I want to do at the moment is paint. But if over the weekend I get a bit of time, and because I don't have paints at my parents' place. But if I get a bit of time for art making and I've got my iPad and my Apple Pencil with me and I want to draw, that'll be great. So we'll see what kind of progress I can make with that. But for now, the plan for the rest of the afternoon is try out this new tea from Muji that I bought. Does it say? No, it doesn't say what it is. But I was excited to try that. And paint these flowers, and that'll be the rest of my afternoon, which honestly sounds pretty perfect to me. I might also, you saw earlier, I set up some pages to keep copying quotes from Mabel in here, and also I made an Earthflown review page that I'm gonna fill up soon, so I might do some of this tonight. That'd be nice, but we'll see. Oh, I forgot to mention, I made dividers for this book. This is so chaotic. I made very simple dividers with watercolor paper. Finally bought a hole punch. I did originally intend to paint these, but I kind of like them plain. And if I decide that I want to paint them, I can always do that later. Or like, I could try. I'll see how the big painting turns out because I want to do an A4 painting of these flowers. But if that one comes out nice, because these have really pretty colors, I might try to paint one of these, and then if I don't like it, I can always like swap it out. Not the end of the world. That's a nice thing about rings, but these are the pages that I set up this morning with the photos. I'm trying to kind of space them out a bit because I know I have a lot of quotes to copy, so it'll just be nicer. And then I've kept some pictures. I've got a couple of illustrations. I have the credits for these on my phone so I can copy them when I actually put the pictures in. But I have a couple of illustrations that I really, really liked and then I want to put at a certain point with like certain quotes. But obviously I don't know where those will end up. So I will do that at a later point. But yeah, that's my update. I hope that you're having a good time. Sorry if this was a bit confused and chaotic. The week's kind of been also a bit confused and chaotic because more so like it just didn't go how I expected it to. The weather has really done everything it could to sabotage me at the beginning of the week, and that like put me in a terrible mood. So yeah, it's fine, it's okay. I hope you're doing well. I'll get to painting. Right, so Sunday afternoon. I hope you're still doing well. I have been home for a couple of hours, and as you will have seen, I've been doing a little bit of journaling. I actually spent a good while, some bits to put in the horn later. I spent a good while over the weekend continuing to copy my quotes from Babel. I told you it was going to take a while because I did underline a lot, and I'm not copying everything I've underlined just because some things don't really make sense out of context, or like it's just a really beautiful sentence maybe, but I am copying down some like longer paragraphs especially, so I've put those back in. So I finished copying like my general quotes, which were like, I don't know, just quotes I liked that didn't fall into my language category, which is the ones that I've been copying now. And then I also have a couple that are going to go in the nostalgia section, just because I thought they would fit well in there. But like, just for general quotes, there's like 2, 3, 4, 5 full double-sided pages, so it's like 10 pages, which is a lot. I also put some pictures and some fan art in there. I haven't written down my review yet because I wanted to finish writing my quotes first, and also I haven't written down my Earthflown review yet, though I did print out more artwork from it, like from the author's Instagram pages, so I will be doing that over the week as well. And then for now, I've been working on the languages related one. So I have, how much do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages so far. So like 6 pages, and then I was working on the 7th. And I can put these in already. And then I'll put the rest in later once I finish copying them. I don't have a lot left. I did tab things with like different colors. So I had yellow ones, which were like general, and then dark pink were, or like normal pink were the translation related ones, and then baby pink are the nostalgia related ones. So I think I'm going to try to finish the language ones tonight, and then I can do the other ones, I don't know, tomorrow or Wednesday, because Wednesday is a holiday again, so I have the day off. But I'm happy that they're kind of coming together because I knew that was going to take a while, and it really has. Otherwise, I'm behind in the hon because I just really fell behind this week, and I haven't really caught up over the weekend like I normally would, just because I was doing this instead, and I had a couple of other things going on. But I wanted to share a couple of things. First of all, completely random, I'm thinking about buying a fountain pen. I don't need it. Genuinely do not need it. But I'm subscribed to the Stile mailing list. Is that how you call it? I feel like that has a different name. Why can't I think of that? I don't know, whatever. That newsletter, that's what I was thinking. And so they announce like new releases and new products that they have in stock, that kind of stuff. There's this really, really beautiful coffee toned fountain pen that's come out. I want it. I don't need it. I really do not need it. Like, no reason at all. I just want it. It's so beautiful. But I don't know, I'm trying to resist that. But also, it's my birthday in a couple of weeks, and I always get myself something for my birthday. So if that appears in videos, it just happened. I have no excuses. It's fine. I don't know. Mostly because the thing is, I've used a fountain pen before. I didn't really enjoy the one I had because it was very heavy at the top, so it was kind of hard to write with. It was very uncomfortable. But I did use it for a while. But now when I'm writing, I hold my pen like this. I don't hold it like this, or like, yeah, kind of like that. I hold it like this. So I think like with a fountain pen, obviously you're supposed to hold it like this, but I don't know how comfortable that would be with the long nails. I feel like after a while I start doing that and then they touch, and I feel like that would give me the ache. So I don't know. I really do not need a fountain pen. I don't need another like stationery obsession or like another hobby to fall into, because I already don't have the time to keep on top of the ones I already have. But I don't know, it might happen. We'll see. But mostly what I wanted to talk about was, I mentioned, I think last week or this week or both, I can't remember, that I've been wanting to get back into oil painting. And I was looking through my old Instagram posts over the weekend to try to find pictures of a specific painting that I couldn't remember, but I was like, I kind of want to put this up on my wall because I want to redecorate my room a little bit. But obviously I've got my paintings here and I was back home at my parents', so I didn't have the paintings with me. So I was looking for pictures. And then I started seeing pictures of my old sketchbook, and I posted at one point a sketchbook tour of the completed book. And this is a sketchbook that I painted a lot in, and there's a lot of oil painting in here. Most of it's oil painting. If you're wondering how I did that, I prepped the pages with gesso, with white gesso, and then I use a quick drying medium. I think it's called Liquin by Winsor & Newton. So normally in like a day, I can close the sketchbook. But I think, like, I was aware of that. See, like, this is, like, a primed page that I never actually ended up painting on. I was aware that, like, oil painting is, like, like, oil painted pieces are some of my best artwork. Like, I still think that is true. And I was aware of that, but I hadn't looked at my old oil paintings in a while. And looking back at it, I was just like, this is on another level. Like, there's a few pieces in particular, especially kind of later on in the book, I think. This one I really, really love. This is from a Still Here, Still Life prompt. I should check that out again. I haven't done that in a long time. There's some pieces in here that I really think are just beautiful. And, like, it doesn't even come close to what I'm doing now with gouache. Yeah, I'm trying to not miss any. What is this? How did I don't know, like, how did I pull this off? This is beautiful. The brush strokes, the colors, the textures. The more I look at this, the more I just want to get paintbrushes out and paint. And, like, the whole reason why I kind of stopped oil painting was because I was doing it so much, and, like, I did the Strata Easel Challenge, which is a daily oil painting, well, not oil painting, it's a daily painting challenge from life, but I did it with oil twice in the same year. So I did over 60 days of painting, plus all the in between, but those were like 2 months of like painting straight. Very close together, because I think I did it first in September and then I did it January, the beginning of the year after. I did September 2021 and January 2022, or September 22 and January 23. I can't remember. I think it must have been, no, I don't know, getting confused, whatever, it doesn't matter. But basically then, like, no, I think it must have been 21 and 22. But then after that, I kept on oil painting, and I love some of the pieces I made during that time. That's a painting that I have still on my easel to this day, like, this piece. I love this so much. And there's so many other pieces that I really, really love that I also made with oil paint. And then, because I was oil painting so much, I think I just got really overwhelmed with the setting up and cleaning up process. And because I generally paint in my room, because, like, I don't have a separate studio, I just got really overwhelmed with, like, the smells and the whole process of, like, because it's more complicated than gouache. Like, you don't just have a jar of water. You've got solvent, you need to think about that, you need to think about safety. So it's like, it's a whole thing. And I was always, like, having paintings and sketchbooks laying open everywhere, and you've got to prep things with gesso, and then that also takes time to dry, and then you've also got pieces of wood drying everywhere. And it was a bit of a whole thing, and I just got really overwhelmed by it at a certain point, and I stopped doing it. And I haven't oil painted in well over a year now. Or, like, about a year, because I think I made this painting about a year ago. I think a picture of that came up recently, and that was, like, 1 year ago. But, I don't know. The more I looked at this sketchbook, the more I was like, I really need to get back into that. Like, these oil studies as well, the colors, the textures, it's like nothing beats, like, the buttery consistency of oil. And it's not something you can get with anything else. I I've never really experienced it. It's just, the process is just so smooth. It's incredible. But now that I haven't done it in so long, it's like, it's really, I think I've made it up to be more complicated than it actually is, because I was doing it every day. Like, it's manageable, it's fine. Like, I was doing it every day on top of going to uni and doing all of my usual things and filming it, because one of them at least I filmed the entirety of and made videos about. So like, it's doable. But now that I haven't done it in so long, it feels so much more daunting than I know it actually is. So I really just want to pick it back up again and like get over it. I don't have to like get back into it and oil paint twice every day. You know, it can just be a very chill thing. I want it to be a chill thing, but I want to get over like the daunting feeling of starting again. I do need to get some supplies because I know I'm out of gesso. I want to do things a bit better this time, safety wise. I need to get I want to get gloves so I can paint with gloves on, and a couple of other things. So I also don't know if I have solvent anymore. I don't know if I have liquid, because I feel like I might have also run out of that. I know I have oil paint. That's the only thing I know. I have oil paint and brushes, but I can't just use that. So yeah, I don't know. These are beautiful. I don't know if you can see all of it. I love these so much, and these were so quick as well. But like the textures, this is incredible. It just, the more I look at it, the more I love it and the more I want to do it. And this is not something that I can really do with gouache, not in the same way. As much as I really love working with gouache, and I love some of the pieces that I made recently, the floral pieces, some of the portraits I think are really, really lovely. This gets me on another level. Like, I just really, really like the style that I get when I oil paint. It just feels different. This is also really cool, and this is a very textured one and very cool colors, which I don't normally work with, but I really like that. There's a lot of floral pieces. This one I've also always really liked. It's really cool. This is from a picture that I took in France with my dad. We went to a festival together. It was like a motorbike trip, but we also went to a festival, and this was dinner one of the nights. These are also so cool. Like, this, I don't know, nothing beats this to be honest. So all that to say, I'm gonna try to pick up oil painting again. I'll try to make it not overwhelming for myself. I do need to get supplies hopefully this week, and then like I'll see if I can actually do it this week. Otherwise, if I have to like wait for supplies to arrive or something like that, I'll try to do it next week. But I've just been getting the need to oil paint again. So yeah, expect to see some more of that. I don't know what time it is. I think it's like mid-afternoon, probably 5 something. I'm gonna continue copying down some of those quotes so I can finish that up and then have a nice little catch up in the hon. I've got some more bits to suck in. The only thing I actually did over the weekend was print out pictures and stick those in, so that's something at least. But I want to catch up on all of that, because then on Wednesday, which is the 1st of May, I can, because I'm home, I can also film the April recap, wrap up, flip through type of video, which I'm excited to share. There's some nice pages in this book to share this month, which is cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a nice chill journaling rest of the day. I was probably also supposed to go through some uni notes. Haven't done that. We'll see if I get to do it. I need to plan the rest of my week because I don't know what I'm doing. I also want to set up some of this bouquet to dry because I have plans to use it to decorate my room as well. And then I'll get some of those paintings out that I was talking about earlier to see how I can reorganize my walls, but I guess we'll see that in next week's video. So yeah, that's a Sunday recap. I hope you're doing well. I'll see you soon with another video, and I just wish you a lovely end to your day. Bye!